So, welcome to Legacy of the Snake. So, how did this workshop come about? What is it about? Where are we going? So, as many of you know, here at the LHC, we have been doing a lot of work over the last couple years about transformative shadow work. And transformative shadow work requires that you have true authenticity in your walk and what you're doing. So, a lot of you have different deities and you do different things to practice. But here in this house from now on in, we will be observing winter, spring, summer, fall. Will there be half tide events? Yes, there will be half tide events. Every season has a midpoint. There's things we celebrate at midpoints, there's things that we understand. We're going to get halfway to winter tide here in a couple days. And that's going to be Imbolc for a lot of people who celebrate that beautiful holiday. Hmm. That is not something we're going to do here. We're going to celebrate the half winter tide. Now, why did I bring you in at the new moon? It's fucking Lunar New Year. Happy fucking New Year. Okay. But when I saw Year of the Snake, I was so fucking excited. And I say excited because it made my skin crawl. Um, I know some of you have been looking for this point to put your foot down and move forward. You have been looking for this time to just really put your foot down and say, the shit stops here. The world is burning, if you hadn't noticed. It is burning. You can smell the tire fire, if you know what I'm saying. Okay. I'm going to ask you to step out of that for just this time frame where you're working on you. Okay. I'm going to ask you to come out of the media. I'm going to ask you to come out of your friend circles. I'm going to ask you to come out of your family circles. I'm going to ask you to really settle in what is you with your whole ass. Now, many of you ladies, I've seen you and I know you have sizable asses. Okay, so I want you to use your whole ass for this exercise. And I'm not, no, pretty face, no waist, and a big old ass. That's how I describe my girlfriends. Okay, so listen, we're going to do this with our whole ass. Why? Because you have to be able to sit into this. You have to have a real understanding of what it is and who you are. Why did we choose winter to start? Well, it just fucking makes sense, right? The Chinese New Year starts at Lunar New Year. This is Lunar New Year. This is the first new moon on this calendar. Okay. So all of these things make sense. I know, what the fuck? Like a witch who actually makes sense. Where did Sissy go? We killed her. She's no longer useful. We got this new model in. Let's see how it works. Okay. She's a little more organized. PDFs are done. Had the lectures, you guys had this PDF for how long now, right? You're all like, what the hell, right? But it wouldn't have been me if there wouldn't have been a set of cards coming out in your email today, right? So, what I want you to do is really sit into this, and you'll notice the ritual's not for full moon. This gives you 2 weeks to really sit into these prompts and think about them. Why did I decide to do a live? Number one, I think when I write a workshop like this, what I think and what I'm feeling doesn't always come across in a PDF. Okay? That's fair, right? The other thing is sometimes divine inspiration comes along when I'm talking. So let's go through this like a syllabus and let's look at this. For those of you asking, yes, there will be 3 more of these. When will they come? In the next fucking tide. Calm down. Okay? We're not going to have a whole program written in 2 months. It's not going to happen like that anymore. There's a reason the tide turns. Different things are going to happen to all of us till spring. You know, as a matter of fact, the women that were here in my yard in fall have seen major changes till winter. I was a very different woman sitting at that fire. I got some good constructive criticism and I took it to heart. Back up, step out, and let you all find your way. I know some of you have written me and they're like, I miss you. I miss you too. But I missed me more. And I want you guys to understand the only way to lead a circle is by example. When you are broken, you need to stop, look around, and figure out what is going to support you. What supports me will not be what supports you. I am giving you tools here to start from. I want you to step into other things that work for you. Do you understand? Now, I chose the title of this section, Scrying the Slither. Why? Number one, I love scrying. I think it's a valuable tool. I think it's very overlooked. We are in a hibernation cave mode witchcraft right now. If we were in ancient times, a lot of you are working in ancestor work right now, you would have been indoors right now. It would have been dangerous to be outside. Yes, we're getting more light, but not enough light to keep you safe. A lot of you are still out in the witch world. Looking. This workshop invites you to step back, pull in, get yourself where you're quiet, you're comfortable, and you're calm. Lay yourself out. Now, when I say lay yourself out, I don't mean lay yourself out flat in a bed. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about lay yourself out. I want you to evaluate your fears. I want you to evaluate your strengths. I want you to evaluate what is mattering to you right now. Not long-term goals, not what you want, not where you're going, not how you've been. No, I want you to look at where you're at right now. Many of you are pursuing mental health right now. Many of us are. And I can't say just you because I am as well. Many of you are looking at your physical body and your temple. It is your responsibility to maintain your temple. Your temple will stop you from accomplishing the things you want to accomplish because foraging takes health. Walking in nature takes you to be engaged in your body and understanding how you feel. So if you don't feel well, get to the fucking doctor. Look after your temple. If you have a chronic illness or you have a fatigue injury, figure out what to eat to feed your temple. Stay in your cave. Maintain your temple. Now, I want to look at this page too. I know you're going, oh my God, she's going slow. Yes, slow, but not without purpose. Okay. Are you prepared to surrender your old self to reemerge? So, in cultures, old you is burnt upon a pyre when you are no longer viable in that form, correct? That's called death, right? The end of this winter tide is going to ask you to have a fire because you're going to need a fire to initiate spring. Seeds grow when they're warmed by the sun. I just learned this lesson in fifth grade science, okay? So when you are a seed, you hold a tremendous amount of energy from the plant that produced you, correct? Right now, you are all holding a tremendous amount of energy. Now, let's talk about that energy. Some of it is positive and some of it is negative. All right. I want you to think about these questions that you're going into as far as shadow work as blankets. We all cover ourselves to avoid contact with things that cause us pain and discomfort, correct? They're called coping mechanisms. And a lot of us in the witch world have coping mechanisms. When you don't want to be criticized, you stand to the back and put your camera off. When you don't want to be told that this isn't working, you don't do the work because you don't want anybody to critique you on. For instance, I sent out 75 small group shadow work assessments to people who expressed that they wanted to be in small group shadow work. I've gotten back 14. Why? Oh, number one, that questionnaire fucking sucked ass. I know it did. Number two, it required a lot of work to answer that fucking questionnaire. I made you open up a new document. I made you send me answers. Do you know why? Because my fucking eyes are bad and I can't read the little writing anymore because I'm old. Okay? That's why. And when I do things now, I have to think about what makes them convenient for me because I got to do that work, right? What are you doing in your life to make your life more convenient for you? How are you putting you first? That's a huge part of rebirth. What are you willing to lose to be a new you? And nobody wants to talk about that because you're all comfortable with your old blanket. You're all comfortable with your coping mechanisms. You're all comfortable with hiding behind excuses. We all are. It is much easier to do what we've always done than blaze a trail to something new. And I don't care what you fucking say. Oh, I take on new challenges. I'm this, I'm that. Bitch, I know your ability to focus because I watch you in classes. Don't sell me a line of goods. I don't buy bullshit. Okay? I know that. And so do you. We're grown ass women. You fucking know better and you fucking know what you need. Now, the question is, do you have the self worth to go for what you need? I assure you, no cobra with the hood and grace of how big they are gives a fuck what they're striking on. They don't care because they have the self-worth. They know they are ferocious. They know they are strong. A snake is one of the most resilient animals. Do you know why? Because they adjust to wherever they are. They take on heat, they take on cold, they'll birth their babies live, they'll birth their babies in eggs. They don't care. They adjust and move on. If they're injured, their scales will repair themselves. It's what they do. It's hard to kill a snake, too, if you've ever noticed. You got to cut their fucking head off. It's very hard to kill a snake. Their bodies have tremendous muscle memory. You all have tremendous muscle memory right now. And unfortunately, it's responding in a traumatic manner, not a protective manner, not a prolific manner, not a movement manner, and not a rebirth dance. So if you want to take the year of the snake and bring it into witchcraft and hold it into personal growth, you have to know what's not helping you and what is helping you. Fair enough? Okay. So we need to know how we get out of survival mode. That's going to be huge. What are you chasing your tail in? If you notice the picture to this workshop, the snake bites its own tail out and takes a piece. Why? Because a cycle has to fucking end. What are you going to choose to end? What are you going to choose to no longer go forward with? This is a hard, hard, hard decision for some people. Some people it's addiction. Some people it's codependency. Some people it's their own laziness and inability to stay focused. What are you going to give up? Or are you just going to give up to the structure and the way everybody wants you to do it and do it your way? That's the choice. There's always a choice. That is the beautiful thing about being the master of your own magic. There's always a choice. Do you want to stay at the LHC and take classes? Do you want to go here and take classes? Do you want to just stop taking classes? Do you just want to wing it for a year? Go out and see what you can find and do what you can do. Those are your prerogatives. No one's going to judge you. No one cares. You're holding yourself more accountable than any face on this Zoom. I assure you. Do what you need to do to feel whole. Now, I am going to be your life coach a minute. Don't be a fucking asshole in the progress. Got it? Don't be a dick. It's not needed. If you need to go, go. If you need to stay, stay. But if you're going to stay and you're going to work, put your whole ass into it. That is the importance. Why? Because that helps you grow. Once you make a decision, stick to the decision. That's why this is a bind to self ritual in this workshop. I noticed some of you probably were like, when you got to that ritual part, you're like, oh shit. That's a serious ritual. It's not a dedication to a deity. It's not a dedication to your magic. It's a dedication to you. Are you willing to sit with your own shit? Are you willing to work on you? That means not doing 55 prompts about what can I do to make my community better? What can I do to do this? What can I do to do? How can I change myself to be happier? I love this year. This year is the narc year. This is where all of us get the right to be a little narcissistic and a little bit self-focused. I think that is the key to growing, is taking time out from all the push to everybody else and really focus on how you can better prepare yourself to hold your magic. Some of your cauldron spaces, your womb spaces are wounded, and you're not willing to look at them because that's hard and it takes time to repair. How many people have gut issues in this group? Just curious. How many people have digestive gut issues? So, there is a school of thought that digestive gut issues come from an inability to speak your truth. Now, I mean, we're going to talk about Eastern medicine right now. That's what they believe. Okay. So if that area of you, that cauldron of you is not resonating properly, what can you do to clear it? Stop biting your tongue. You don't have to say it to them, but you also don't have to be with them anymore. Do you understand? Healthy shadow work involves a lot more than just writing letters of anger and disgust to people who you don't love no more, or having lash outs at people who you don't need anymore, or situations you don't need anymore. Remove yourself. That is the most healthy way you can cope with unhealthiness. Your guts are messed up because you're messed up. Your body is reacting to your psyche in a lot of cases. Now, granted, there are people who have genuine disorders, Crohn's and diverticulitis and ulcers. They have ulcers, okay? I have one myself. Why? Um, you've seen the last 4 years of my life. Why do you think I have one? But why are you having these issues? Why do you have high blood pressure? Why do you have poor health? Why do you have poor diet? Why do you live on coffee? And just push, 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 push. Because you feel a societal push to maintain a status quo with people. For what reason? You all made a choice to be here at a 9 o'clock on a Wednesday night. Why? Because you're tired of living the way you live and you need an answer. I am nothing but a lighthouse. I'm here to light you, enable you, empower you to move forward and fix this for yourself. Guess what? I'm doing the same workshop with you. Do you understand? I'm here in the trenches with you. These are moments from the foxhole, I assure you. I'm in the same oh shit barrel you're in. Things are hard for all of us right now. But if we want to stop, we have to look at what we thought was helping us grow, what we thought was bringing us forward, and really identify it. If it was just a challenge or it was a path. Challenges are things that ask us to step up. You know, you all know the phrase, courage is nothing without fear, correct? I'm pretty fucking brave. How about you? Because I live my life in fear. I saw a meme today on Facebook. It says, "Could someone please tell my adrenal system that I am not running from a fucking abominable snowman?" Most of us are in fight or flight mode right now. Media is too much. Friend conversations can be too much right now. A lot of us are in situations where it's hard all over. Everything is triggering. And you have to learn to cut that out and put the blinders up. So, how are we going to do that? I wrote you this little love note in the center of your workshop. Did you all see it? Did you all see the name change of the vulva? Okay. Spring, we might have a new name, but for right now, I'm sleeping in the hedge. And if you know me, my hedge is filled with briars and dead trees and mice. And accordingly, right now, we are a feral cat colony here at the LHC. Caroline has called all the cats to our house, so I have male cats running all around my backyard right now. So that is what I'm doing in my neck of the woods. What are you up to? So let's look at these questions. How have you perceived societal expectations and how have they impacted your ability to flow with your magic? Okay, so let's break this down. What are you doing because other people expect you to do it? What are you doing because other people expect you to do it? That answer should be fucking nothing. You should do things because you have made soul contracts and respectable binds with the people you love, not because you're expected to do them. Choosing. If there's anything this winter tide could be titled, it is choice. It is a choice. Now, some of us have choices that are common sense and we can't stand away from them. I know a lot of you have children and family members that you're responsible for. That is not a choice that we can walk away from. It is a hard job, but it is not something we can walk away from. But at one point, did we make that choice? Yes, we made that choice. At some point, I made that choice. Some of you are forgetting that before you got here, you made a soul contract. Stop acting like you don't fucking know it. You know it. The things you're experiencing, that deeper knowing in you, made that contract. There is a lesson in everything you have. Some of you don't give yourself credit for how much you've survived. Life is hard. We should all get a fucking helmet when we come out. It fucking sucks. I really think Artemis fucking screws us all. I think like your first goddess should be Artemis. She should give you a helmet and a bow and arrow. Because this fucking is not a joke. And some of us, the older we get, the harder it gets. Standing for who you are and your beliefs is not everybody's going to like you. Not everybody's going to tolerate you. And I'm not just saying you're magic. I'm saying personal boundaries you put in place. No, I'm not doing that. No, that doesn't happen for me anymore. No, I'm not feeling this. Now, I did something in this workshop that I have never done before. I'll be very honest with you. I wrote each prompt and I pulled a card. And I put the card inside the workshop. Why? Because that was the divine card was meant at this. And it's funny, when I pulled societal expectations, the card Sabbats came out. When you're a witch, what are you expected to do? Observe Sabbats, because that's what everybody's doing. And as I looked deeper into it, it's just a way to control the flow for the collective. Okay, this is what we do on this day. This is what we do on this day. How church of us. Oh, did I hurt some people's feelings? I'm sorry. How Jesus of you. I love that for you. Just saying. Just saying. We don't go to church. We go to ritual. They stole that from us. Do you understand? We made everything they are. They saw us with our statues. They saw us with our altars. They saw us with our rituals. They saw us worship the moon. They saw us worship the tides. They saw us worship the changing of the seasons. And what did they do? Oh, let's pick this up. This is a great idea. So, in essence, we have impacted these Sabbaths and these spiritual norms that are throughout the entire witch community. Now, am I saying if you're a Wicca, you're wrong? No, that's your belief system. That works for you. If you like your magic in a planogram, I love that for you. Go with that. Make sure you get a happy planner and you get all the colored dividers and you get all the Sabbath stuff that's out and available right now. Amy Cesari has some beautiful selections. Sure, you're coloring in your Bridget's Cross and all those things. And many women still observe that holiday, but not for the reason you think. It's a fire holiday. And a lot of witches love a good reason to have a fire. They're pyros, okay? Let's just be honest, all right? So that was the card we pulled there. The next prompt was, what emotions are you shying away from? Oh, so this is where your shadow work comes in, okay? This is where you're going to look at what are you afraid to do? What is shutting down your magic? What is your fears? What are the things, people, places, all those things that are standing in front of you in your magic? Small exercise. I did this a long time ago in a workshop, and it was rocks. For this exercise, I want you to use the rocks example. I want you to draw yourself, and I want you to draw two big arms on you, okay? Big, big Wonder Woman arms, okay? Holding up two plates. On the bottom of your page, I want you to write all the things you're responsible for, all the emotions that you can't manage right now, and all the people who you feel you need in your life. See how many of them you can hold at once. Size according on those rocks, okay? Big traumas get big boulders, and little traumas get small boulders. Big people get important, large rocks in your life. Small people get small rocks in your life. How much can you hold up? Not all of them at once. You're going to have to let some things behind in the cave. How you do that is your discretion. You have been given multiple ways to resolve traumas in the LHC. Multiple ways. For those of you that are newer, you can reach out to me. I can refer you to some previous shadow work classes. Bloom will be making an appearance again in an updated version here coming in a couple weeks. It's going to be a little different. It's going to be written in a feral mode, but it will be definitely a way to help with this. I want you to really think about the things you can no longer carry. I want you to think about the things that you can no longer be burdened with. And we pulled curses and remedies for this pause. I fucking love that concept. A witch that is unable to hex cannot heal. I'm going to say something and I'm going to say it once quietly, and then I'm going to say it twice. Do not trust healers who have never been broken. Do not trust witches, healers, workers who you have not seen personal turmoil from. They are too perfect and they are being dishonest. If you think the fence has been whitewashed, it has. Sorry. I said it in an archetype lecture a long, long time ago. If you've been with me for a long time, you probably saw the lecture. I hate the word priestess. It's fancying up a turd. Sorry. It's There's not a goddess here to anoint you a priestess. If you work for a goddess, you are a devotee. You are not a priestess. Priestesses held illuminated, glorious positions in temples. They were amazing. They were they were exemplary followers of that goddess. Their whole life was devoted to her. None of us could be a priestess. We have way too many things to do in a muggle struggle to be a priestess. Sorry, I said what I said. I ain't gonna make no fucking friends. Let's say that for sure. But it's the truth. Stop acting like you're not worthy. Speaking from someone with a huge worth wound, stop doing that to yourself. What is the remedy for these emotions? The curses, the pain that you're holding from denying this emotion. What is the remedy to that? That's what the curses and remedy cards coming out was just so beautiful. Because no matter how hard of a road you have been on, there is a respite on the road. There is a hag on the road who has seen this before. There is a beautiful woman on the road or a witch on the road that has shelter for you and a warm cup of tea. That's our world. Stop acting like it's not. We have to be a little more optimistic about our collective in order to heal. So much negativity has grown within these communities, and we're all guilty of it. We have to put the positivity back into our communities. No, I'm not giving you a white lighter speech. That is not what I'm doing. I'm telling you, hits up, chin up. We can heal ourselves. Source needs us to. But while we're broken, we still hold space. Okay? The point is not concealing your trauma. Point is filling it with beautiful silver and gold and copper and tones of weaving to put yourself back together again. I love a woman that looks like Sally. I love Sally. Sally is the epitome of the perfect woman. She trusts her heart. She believes in Jack. She believes in what she does. And she doesn't hide a single stitch or flaw. And she sews herself back up every time. But she'll tear herself apart for the right moment. Think about that. Some of you are in pieces all over the cave. You don't even know where your ass is, or your legs are, or your head is, or your heart is. Some of you have given up on your heart. That bitch is just too much work. It's okay. We've all loved and lost. We've all felt hurt. It's okay. You're alone in the cave. Cry it out, bitch. Maybe use those tears to make some tea. Stop acting like you're perfect. Stop acting like you got your shit together. Stop acting like you can do these PDFs in 3 days. Oh, I got everything done. Well, good for fucking you. Did you get it done? Stop working to completion and work to fulfillment. Completion is overrated. The only thing when it's completed is you put it in the file and move on to the next. What good is that? Sit in this. Sit in this magic of the curse and the remedy. Really sit into this aspect of it. Give this 2 or 3 days. And I challenge you to find something emotionally that you think is a physical trigger in your body. Go to your books and find the herbal remedy. More than cannabis. More than cannabis. I want you to do some real fucking work, okay, weed witches? Real work this time. I want you to blend a tea. I want you to make a bath salt. I want you to cook a meal that you feel a little more fulfilled from. When I feel like crap, I make sweet potatoes and chicken, and that's what I eat. Why? Because it makes me feel better. You have comfort foods. Not everybody's comfort foods are the same. I know a loaf of bread makes everybody feel better. Unless you have fucking celiacs, and then I feel so fucking sorry for you because that bug bread's disgusting. But those are the things that reach out and make me feel better. Nothing like a hot cup of cocoa and a piece of toast to bring my grandmother to the table and have that comfort. Do the things that bring you comfort. It is winter. You're supposed to feel comfort right now. Today, I made a huge pot of chicken soup for Caroline. She wasn't feeling well when she woke up. She went to bed. She's like, I feel great. Don't tell me food can't fix you, because it fucking can. Start loving yourself. Start understanding the curse, the issue, and start understanding the remedy. Sometimes the only remedy is rest and reflection. And that's not a bad thing. I have gotten told from many of you, I love the pace at which you're working right now. It makes me feel so fulfilled. I don't feel like I'm missing things. I don't feel like I'm missing things either. I feel like we're hitting the spots that need it. I feel like things are coming at the pace they should be. What was my curse? Moving so quickly and putting so much shit in. What was my remedy? Slowing down. Slowing down was the key to rekindling my flame. I couldn't burn at that pace. Why are you pushing yourself to do things that isn't your pace? Curse and remedy. This is a really important part of this workshop. Okay. These prompts will help you. And you notice I gave you these beautiful divination sheets and then your prompt and reflection, right? And you all have a PDF so you can print as many of those as you want. And then boom, you got cards. What the fuck? Why did I give you cards? Because I expect you to fucking use them. Got it? I expect you to fucking use them. I expect you to do your divination pulls on what you're writing. If you take 3 days, do 3 pulls. Really think about what is coming forth for you. Now, the attachments one, this one's going to hurt. So, snakes don't get attached to anything. Okay. Unless they're in captivity, a snake is a very vagabond creature. It goes where it wants, it moves where it wants, it needs to be where it wants. You all love that Stevie Nicks song, Gypsy, right? Back to the floor, ladies, back to the floor. Do you know what that means? Get back to your fucking basics. Get back to the magic you started with. Get back to the things that brought you happiness. What have you become attached to that you no longer need? Some of us are in communities we no longer need. Some of us buy books we no longer need. Some of us have so many tarot decks we couldn't find the bottom of the pile if we needed to. Some of us have so many herbs we don't need them. I know this is going to piss some people off, and you might tell me go fuck myself, but I'm going to be very honest with you. Take those herbs you don't need, the extras that have been laying around. You haven't touched the jars. Take a half a cup out of the ones that apply to the intentions you have of release. Put them in a bowl, throw them in your fire. Release their magic and watch how amazing that fire looks. Can you imagine if you just opened your cork a little bit and released some of your magic, how much better you would feel? Some of you have bound yourself so tight to people, places, and things, you don't know who the fuck you are anymore. It's dangerous. There is something to be said for a solitary witch. They stand alone and they rely on themselves for magic. It is not very collective minded, but in the winter months, it's essential because you're going to come back amongst people and you want to be the best version of yourself when you do that because you are going to come in contact with a lot of people in spring who have not done their work and they are not repaired and they have not looked at their bullshit and they have not seeked deeper and they have not done anything to improve themselves. And you know what you're going to do? No, thank you. It is so nice to see you, but no, thank you. You can be friendly without making a fucking attachment. Do you understand? We do not have to attach to every magical person we meet or see. It is not a necessity. I know this goes contradictory to what I've been telling you guys for 4 years, right? Be nice, be nice. Being nice and being kind are two different things. Be nice to people, be kind to yourself. Kindness requires love. You are doing a lot of work. Put your boundaries up, put your protections up. Did you make your sigil for 2025? You're all looking at me going, bitch, did you tell us to do that? I should not to tell you to do that. You're a fucking witch. Get up and do some spells and shit. Stop your crying. Okay? Make those sigils as part of this workshop. Your sigil will change through the year as you change. It will evolve. I have a sigil on the bottom of my white altar candle every day, my goddess candle. It's on a round board. It's a piece of cutout wood from my Yule log that I cut off the end, and I made my sigil on it. And I put my candle there every day. And I infuse it into my altar every day. My sigil is different than your sigil. It should be. But it also is my seal to the universe. Hey, bitches, I'm here. I might be fucked up, but I'm here. So when you're looking at these, what will you gain when you give away the attachments you no longer need? I mean, if you get rid of shit in your apothecaries, you gain space. If you get rid of PDFs and books that you no longer need, you gain room to add more in. If you get rid of traumas that are holding you back from making friends with other people and communities local to you, you might get experiences. Going into a community space is scary for a lot of people because overcoming the fear of meeting new people in the witch world is serious because you don't know what you're getting. And I don't care. Everybody's like, oh, I read energy. I know. No, you don't. No, you don't. I have a I have a personal belief system. I will tell you exactly what it is right now. Witches are like men when you date them. So men are who they want you to believe they are for the first 3 months of dating them. They're the epitome of the best guy you'll ever meet. They are everything you will ever want. And then you see what a shithead they are. Like 4 months into it, he does something stupid, and you're like, I fucking knew it. The same will happen in friend circles. People put on that great face for a little bit. It's harder to maintain it as you move deeper into friendships. If you're personal friends with me or you've had a conversation with me, you're like, Sissy's such an asshole. Yes, I am. I'm an asshole. And I'm okay with it. Say inappropriate things at inappropriate times. I do crazy shit, but that's who I am and I don't hide it. It's not like this, oh, I'm perfect. No. You've been in my house, you know I ain't perfect. There's a pile of shit in this corner a mile high, and it is all over the place. My house is anything but organized. My house is lived in and filled with love. That's what's important to me. Oh, and there's some magic here too. A couple places. I have some magic here someplace. I get it out once in a while. Got to keep that shit on the down low. You don't want too many people knowing it. So, what did we pull for holding on to attachments but the crone? If you've ever been lucky enough to love a crone, they don't give a fuck about nothing. They know you can't take it with them. They know the people they knew when they were little kids are no longer there. They know their children have grown. They know their friends have grown. They know the world is no longer what it was, and they don't care because they are assured of themselves. What are you going to gain when you lose your attachments? Why, dear witch, you're going to gain who you are. When there's nothing else clinging on you, the only thing you can be is you. So the goal of this exercise is for you to come out of the cave being you, which brings us to this beautiful ritual. I know we must be doing something right because I have goosebumps all over my fucking body right now. So we must be doing something right. We're moving in the right direction. So this bind to self ritual is going to be a lot for you to read through. I want you to read through it thoroughly. Follow the directions, prepare your space. If you notice, I did a lot of effort in the ritual section of this for you guys. Ashley was like, it's a lot of pages. I'm like, I know, right? And I even include this close and ground at the end of your ritual. Do you understand why? Opening is just as important as closing a ritual space. Okay. But what I really want to talk to you about is this last page of the workshop. Your prophecy slither into spring. So if you got those planners that Ashley and I created this year, you notice prophecy is a big part of it. Why? Because I want you to weave. I want you to tell me what your newly bound self is looking for in spring. What is your hopes for spring? What do you want in spring? What do you want to look like in spring? You are your own oracle. Sit down, meditate, think about the spring energy that's coming in. Think about a goddess that you are being pulled to work with in this aspect. Or if it's just yourself, what source is telling you? Where are you going this year? I know most of you do a word of the year. I didn't really push that this year because I don't think I can focus on one thing as far as a word for all the tides. Each of my tides had a separate word this year. So my tide of winter was rest. It was just rest. Rest and repeat was actually what I had written on the top of my journal. Rest and repeat. Because at every moon, it was rest. It was walk into the liminal, see what I had to see, and rest. Go to the doctor after that stage and get a pill to help me sleep because I'm not sleeping. Rest. I'm forcing my body to rest. Not something I've done for a very long time. For some of you, when you release this trauma, you're going to need to rest. Because if there's anything I've learned, is when you release something of this magnitude, your body needs to repair. Because living in fight or flight kills your corpse. It kills your body. The adrenal fatigue is real. The stress on every aspect of you is real. Some people gain weight and stress, some people lose weight and stress. Everybody's body is impacted differently, but rest is something you can count on. If you can't rest, why? That's what I want you to ask yourself. Why? What are those racing thoughts that come into your brain when you go to lay down? Write them down. There's plenty of fucking paper on those worksheets. Flip them fuckers over. Get a notebook. Start writing down what keeps you from resting. Those are the traumas you need to fucking heal. When you are sitting alone with your thoughts, what are the thoughts? What is running? What is racing? What is keeping you from rest? This is a season to rest. We are out of the holiday hustle and bustle. None of us should be running quickly anywhere right now. Yet, many people still maintain the diatribe, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going, you'll die. And you will have experienced nothing on your fucking way to the grave. Sorry. I don't got time to fuck around with you guys. I'm not going to pussyfoot around shit no more. You fucking continue to run your body into the ground, you will die before you're supposed to. And you will leave behind people who will miss you and love you. Death isn't about you, it's about the people you fucking leave behind. Remember that. There are ways to maneuver your life that you are not overwhelmed every fucking second. And they don't have to require drugs, alcohol, or sex. I know everybody says meditation is so hard. It is hard, but prayer is not. I had this discussion with somebody today, and I feel really strongly about what I said. Religious trauma has made us think that praying is bad. Praying is not bad. It is a moment to have with you and your inner dialogue to get it out loud, to discuss it. I don't care what you believe. I don't care what your source is. I don't care if you're just praying, going, could somebody out there just give me a fucking sign that I'm not losing my mind? You need to get your inner dialogue out. Because if you don't, that voice races around inside of your head and causes emotional turmoil. You become that negative voice when it can't get out. And it's really hard to deal with. So if there's anything I can encourage you in this is create an altar, a small space with your elements, whatever you want. Some of you will go the whole 9 yards and have your snake bowl and whatever you wanna do. I fucking love that for you. I fucking love that. I don't have time for that right now. I'm fucking chasing my tail doing 5th grade social studies and science and fucking math. I'm tired. I never realized how stupid I was. I have a pharmacy degree. So let me just tell you, new math is hard. Get those altars up. Sit in that space. Create your space. Print double of these. Okay? I know you all know the trick about putting them on sticky paper, and then you can stick them to anywhere you want to. You can make your own stickers with these. So Amazon sells a double-sided paper. One side is adhesive, the one side you just peel off. That's what I put on the back of the cardstock when I make you guys cardstock pages. Print them off individually. Put them in a notebook. Write what each of those cards means to you. This workshop can be as little as you want or as much as you want. But I implore you to take this time to sit in the cave in your safety and do this. This is the only shot you got at solitary work where there's not outside stressors all the time. And I know people have jobs. I have a job, you have a job. Our jobs may not be the same, but we all have a job. You have to make time for your magic. I know you don't want to hear that. I'm very sorry for being the bringer of that bad news. But if you don't make time for your magic, it will leave. I think you all see what's going on in social communities right now. There's a lot of people saying a lot of things, and there's a lot of very unhappy witches right now because I solemnly believe that Source is pulling back gifts. I solemnly believe Source is cutting people off because they are not doing their sole purpose. They are using magic for gainful events, and that's not how it works. There is a there is a price to be paid for everything in this world, especially in magic. Someone asked me one day, "How do you do this, this, and this?" I said, "Are you willing to pay the price to get what you want?" They're like, "What do you mean?" I said, "You're not going to get that for free. You're going to have to give something up." The question is, looking down at all your beautiful scales, Medusa, what kind of snake are you? Are you deadly? Are you benign? Are you damaged? Are a couple of your scales looking lackluster these days? You got to think about who you are. I am definitely a snake that has got beaten around a little bit. I'm a rougher model. Got into some fights with some big fucking animals that I probably shouldn't have. But you know what? Those scales will fall off. I just have to work to repair them. Don't give up on yourself. If there's one thing I can tell you I've learned from magic, that is the more you put in, the more the universe will reward you. Source will see your efforts. You might not think it's what you think it's going to be, but at the end of the day, that shit's going to sparkle like a shiny diamond under that summer solstice sun. I assure you. I have seen crazier shit in my 46 years. I have seen some crazy shit, but I have never, ever doubted I would make it out the other side. I would never be the same, but I made it out. So I want to thank all of you for coming tonight. I'm going to stop the recording now in case anybody wants to ask any questions or anything like that. And this replay will go out within 24 hours. So I'll make sure you guys get it out. And if you have any questions, write me. This will be the only time we meet on this workshop. Now, if you want to talk to me about this workshop or anything like that, reach out to me and we'll schedule a time. Um, I'm not doing anything as far as workings or anything like that outside of the Maenad musings till spring. So you will see that and then the bloom will go up. So if anybody has any questions or anything like that, feel free to write my email. You're magic because you fucking say you are. Thanks for coming tonight, ladies.